First of all, it's been a few weeks. If you've been tapped in, a lot of y'all ain't been tapped in. Y'all been leaving me hanging. That's not cool. But, you know, like I said, I gotta be in the mood for this. And today, I told y'all last time we're gonna come back and talk about leadership. Because there's a huge misconception that leadership has a gender. And I'm here today to briefly debunk that philosophy. That males are natural born leaders. This is a man's world, they say. Well, let's take a look at the world today and say, let's not say, but see what we get when males are in leadership. And throughout history, right? Let's name a few leaders. Vladimir Putin, Kim Jong-un, Donald J. Trump. Let's go back and say Ronald Reagan, Adolf Hitler, George Washington, Christopher Columbus. I mean, y'all kind of get where I'm going with this? When males are in leadership, right? Not the copper-colored ones, not the Ibrahim Traores. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about the Marcus Garveys. We're not talking about the Malcolm X's. We're not talking about those leaders. We're not talking about Moses. We're not talking about those leaders. We're talking about Pharaoh. Those are the leaders we're talking about. Not the melanated ones. Right? So my point is, and you can look this up, is that this is a misconception. You have been led astray. And I just recently said that a lot of you don't understand that you're slaves. Right? Because you have this illusion and delusion in your minds that your version of freedom, this isn't freedom, it's just your version of freedom, right? The illusion, the delusion that, hey, I'm out here, I'm making good money, I got a roof over my head, I'm living, what I consider to be well, even though I'm putting poison in my food every day, right, in my body every day, by consumption of the food, by taking a shower that is pouring out heavy metals, by drinking water that has plastics and biochemicals in it, by wearing synthetic clothes, right, which lowers my frequency and has dyes on it, forever chemicals, right? This is my version of freedom, though. I got the new Gucci, Versace, Fendi, right? I can go to Dubai tomorrow because I got the funds. So that's freedom to me. Then when you got somebody like me who says freedom to me is living in my ancestral ways. Right? Connecting to my ancestral ways. So if something happens, I know how to survive. Right? Self-sufficiency. Right? Living in a community, a tribe, with real leaders who know how to lead the community, because you have a leader who's leading millions of people with no connection. A person with no connection to you cannot lead you but astray. Because they don't really care about you. They don't know you. You can't go walk up to the White House and say, hey, I want to talk to Donald Trump. You can't do that. You don't have the authority. But if you wanted to talk to White Al, I need to talk to the chief. You may be granted that opportunity after you have passed a few steps, right? Or not, depending on what tribe you're in. So, my point in saying this is, when men lead us to destruction. If you look at the percentages, and we can bring them up real quick, in the violence between males and females, you can look, let me just keep it real, keep it a buck. Gangbanging. I want to gangbang. Some of y'all, not everybody, I want to gangbang because I want to be a part of something. And we willing to crash out about anything. Right? I'm on the internet crashing out. When I see you, it's over with. That's the male fragility, the male ego. That when we say, oh, we can't have a woman as a president because women are emotional. Women are not going to sacrifice their people because of their emotions. A man will sacrifice his own self because of his emotions, because he can't control his emotions, because he has no emotional intelligence. But men, it's a man's world. Men should be in leadership of a people. Just like that, right? We talking about nuclear weapons, y'all. Just like that. Millions of people could lose their lives. We've seen in Palestine, I thought there was war crimes. I thought there were crimes, wars were supposed to be fought in designated areas. But instead, we're seeing civilians being massacred. But we all got our own shit going on. Until that shit hits our front door, and that's what we've been saying, right? Because at the end of the day, like I said, one man is controlling millions, is in the destiny. Your destiny is in the hands of one dude. One dude you don't know, one dude you don't like. One man. Not somebody who's biologically related to you. Not somebody from your tribe, your neighborhood. One man. Right? We're letting world leaders put our fate, our destiny, our lives in their hands. Nuclear weapons, the fact that you need a nuclear weapon tells me how wicked you are. Everybody. Weapons in general. Right? If we're supposed to be talking about humanity, weapons show me that weapons have gone back to the beginning of time for hunting, right? If we talk about hunting, and it wasn't always to hunt each other. But I'm sure a man was the first person to slay the next man. Right? Primitive behavior. But when we talk about leadership, and I talked about, hold on. Before we even go on to that. Violent crimes, males. 6,900,000 572,023 versus women 2,474,637. That's the disparity between violent crimes. All right? And then you talk about murder. Let's go murder. The murderous crimes. 7,549 murders or manslaughters versus women 965. Male percentage 88.7. Women percentage 11.3. You see? It's a vast difference. Right? Because the male's behavior is contumacious. Stubbornly disobedient. Why? Because you're not good leaders. We have to stop that narrative that men are good leaders. Men will lead you to destruction. And I feel at some point you guys self-sabotage and sabotage not only yourselves, but others. Because of your negligence in general. Your negligence to think. Your negligence of emotional control. Your negligence of psychology. So to me, if you ask me, a male's responsibilities are to protect and to provide and reproduce. PPR. Protect, provide, and reproduce. Most of the times, if you really think about it, when making decisions at home, it's either in some households the male is not making a decision without the female, right? Or the woman is making a lot of the decisions when it comes to the tribe. But the leader's supposed to be making the decisions, right? Financially, in some households, the male will make the final decision, well, used to, probably, because he was bringing in the most income or had the most to say. But we've seen that have changed. Things have changed, right? And I think that, like I said, if you go back, when it comes to paying bills, making sure the household is taken care of, making sure things are booked when things are booked, when it's time to go somewhere, responsibility, right? Who's taking care of most of the responsibilities? It's the woman. Most men prefer women to take care of all the responsibilities while they provide and protect. That's not the role of a leader. That's the role, respectfully, of a servant. But the thing about women is women are nurturing. So in return for your servitude, your protection, a woman is going to nurture you. As long as the responsibilities are taken care of. So a lot of men want to talk about women this. Sit on their podcast, women this, and a man this, and the Cam Newtons with the top hats and shit. Alright? Deflecting from whatever internal psychological issues, narcissisms are going on. Alright? You lead with your money. Because you lead with your money doesn't make you a leader. Sorry, boo. Right? We go back to our ancestral ways. Like I have to keep going back to, and people don't understand why I have to keep going back there. Because that's your natural state. You can't learn who you are without your history. You're trying to rewrite your history, and it makes no sense. But that's when a man was respected. So you walking around like Chief Blackfoot, but baby, you're not taking on the responsibility and the roles of the chief. And the chief will be nothing without his queen. A king will be nothing without his queen. Because you know who's has to talk to him at night, which a real woman would be doing. Talking some sense into their man. I see it's a lot of yes women out here nowadays. Right? Because they don't want to upset your fragile egos and tell you how it is. Baby, get off that internet, start arguing with them people. And pulling out your full potential. Right? You can't be a real leader as a man if you don't have a woman by your side who is nurturing you and helping you grow. So I'm not saying that there's never been men are not built to be leaders. But in today's society, absolutely not. Absolutely the fuck not. You're leading us to destruction. Why would I want to be led by you? You see, statistics say women are more educated. When we talk about logic and reasoning, I think in common sense, I think women sit down to analyze the situation. Right? You can't be a leader if you've never led anything. Some of you guys are trying to be leaders but never have led anything. You've never even been in a position to lead. But you want to be a leader. I'm a coach. I've had to lead. You've been a player your whole life. A slave your whole life. And now all of a sudden, you want to lead. Adolf Hitler was a loser growing up until he could convince somebody to let him lead. Same thing with Donald Trump. You can't inherit your riches and expect for me to believe that you're the leader. No, you have inherited your wealth. And you haven't even always been successful at that. Subjectively, most people say that you were a failure in all of it. But those who, like you said, I love the miseducated. The people who don't like to read. The people who don't care about their history. Coming on my page talking about, that was history. We can't rewrite history. That's all they've been doing. How can we not rewrite history when that's all they've been doing? The European. See, you play checkers all day. That's why you could never lead me. But you'll be the one at home telling your wife, I'm the man of the house. That means nothing. That means nothing if you don't know what to do. Right? A house is built from the foundation. You thinking you can just start at the top. And that's the problem. Psychologically, you guys have been fucked. Because you're telling me it's a man's world, and I'm looking at what a man's world looks like, and I'm saying, well, damn, if this is a man's world, shit, suicide rates is up, so people don't want to even live in your world. Respectfully. Cancer's up. Melanoma's up. Well, melanoma is cancer. It's a type of cancer. Going back to those people. But like, the earth is dying. Natural disasters is up. Biological warfare is up. War in general is up. We about to enter a World War III. And this is a man's world. You guys are playing games with people's life, like when you guys used to, before the video games, it used to be Battleship. Yeah, now you got the video games. That's what you guys are acting like this is the video game. And we're all going to be casualties to your games. Right? To your cognitive dissonance. Because that's what it is. No logic and reasoning. You guys don't think about things before you do. Whenever you have a president that gets online and starts tweeting, I mean, you're doomed. You're doomed. So no logic and reasoning. No common sense. There's no the common sense is out the window. The idol worship is at an all-time high. So I've always said this. For everybody, make peace. I hope y'all make peace with what's going on in this world. Because at the end of the day, a lot of, God has left a lot of households. It don't matter how much evidence and proof there is that these biblical figures existed, you guys will still say, God's not real. That text is not real. How is it not real? These people, Moses existed. Yeshua existed. Abraham existed. Israel existed. Existed. Israel. Not Israel. Israel. Jacob. Yaqub. The one you guys keep mistaking. Israel is such a holy place. We do realize that the Israel that was being talked about was Jacob, right? Was a person, a people, the descendants of Israel, which would be me, and probably most of you watching. And I'm not saying that most of you over here, you already know who you are. You already know that you're an anointed person. It's the other people who keep talking about Israel, Israel, Israel. Those people, that's not even their land. And then we might have to get into that at another time too, because black people in America say that they Hebrew Israelites and they this and they that and they that, and we all of that. Yes, you know you can be all of that. You do know that, right? I know it's the Hebrew. They mad that people are saying that they're Hebrews, and it's something else that they're mad that people are saying. Black people in America. Yeah, you can be all of that because you are a descendant of somebody. So some people are descendants of over here. Some people are descendants of over there. Shem, Ham, whoever, whoever, whatever you have, I mean, damn. Esau. I mean, damn. We know who we ain't. We know who we not. We know whose birthright is whose. We know who sold their birthright. We know that. We know who was anointed and blessed. We know that. We know that you cannot be an oppressor and be an anointed. We know that. We know that you're not oppressed. We know that you've oppressed. And we know that some of you are trying to right your wrongs, but biologically, it still is what it is. Right? And I'm not saying you can't right your wrongs. I'm not saying that. So don't take that out of context. But what I am saying is that biologically, you can't say I am a chosen person when you are biologically not. Your job could be to help the chosen people, though. Right? And then, the rest is up to the Most High. That's your job. A lot of you guys are open. I see a lot of people that are not, who are saying those people over there, those blacks, they're them ones. Those blacks. All right? I don't see black people like those people over there. Caesar Borgia, whatever. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. The fake white Jesus. Yeah, Jesus was white. I'm not seeing that. You will never see a melanated person, black, Latino, Indian. You won't see it. You won't see it. Because it's not the truth. I don't give a damn how many Mexican shops you pass and they got Caesar Borgia up in there. It's not him. He's not the one. I've never had a Caesar in my house. Caesar. Never. Okay? But anywho, I'm off topic. Today we was only here to talk about leadership and the lack thereof. Right? Jesus, Yeshua, that's a leader. That was a leader. Moses, leader. Abraham, leader. Right? Noah, leader. Right? But the women never get talked about. They was there. But even the people that were leaders, and I told my friend this the other day, even Jesus was crucified. Most messengers of the Most High were crucified, right? So, somebody can rise up tomorrow in a position of a messenger. I mean, we're all here talking to you guys. These messages are not just, they're not just popping out of our ass, right? Some of us have been anointed to speak. This has been, you might have known me yesterday, and this is my point. You might have known me yesterday, and I might have been outside, turned up. Everybody knew me, popular in high school, all right? And then one day, I woke up. I got a message, many messages. Some messages were delivered by dream, by vision. Some messages were delivered by others. Some messages said you're chosen. Some messages said you have a purpose. You have to fill this purpose. Some messages said you have to eliminate distractions. Get rid of people. Right? I've been in places like clubs. And people have given me messages in the club. And did I take that as, damn, you drunk as hell. I don't even know you. No, I took that as, 2 minutes ago, I seen you over there, and then you came and talked to me. Like you was sent here to talk to me and relay a message. And then after you relayed that message, like when people say people have demons, some people are possessed by the Holy Spirit. Right? And you have to take those messages. Some of you guys aren't ready, though. Some of you guys are not paying attention. Some of you guys are not intentional. But my point is, who you was yesterday does not mean who you are today. So don't judge those people who yesterday they was outside, and then today They inside with a message from the Most High. Because even Jesus was outside at one point. Most of your messengers didn't start getting it cracking until their midlife. So you see a homeless person and you'll judge that homeless person, that homeless man, woman, who is here to actually be the next leader, to lead you to righteousness. But instead, you think Donald J. Trump is your leader. The very person who has been sent here to destroy you without a conscience. With a bunker somewhere. So if shit get hot, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, and all them, they go in their bunkers and your black ass is toast. But my point is, you have to make peace, knowing that you're a chosen person, that if that happens, it happens. And if you look at the world around you, what are you holding on to? You'll just have to come back in another life. And it'll happen all over again. Because we've seen it happen all over again. History tells you that destruction repeats and repeats and repeats and repeats because you have these so-called leaders who you guys think you're supposed to worship, because you guys don't realize you're a slave. You're a slave. You're a slave. And only you can set yourself free. But that takes a we. You can't do it by yourself. So stop being led by destruction and rewrite your history. And you have to live in that. You have to embody that positivity, that community, to really make a change. Can't just talk about it. You have to be about that. You have to love your neighbor. Like, you love thy neighbor. No, you really have to love thy neighbor. All right, so a lot of people out here that I think are real ratchet, real nasty, real raunchy, real disgusting, real disgusting. And everybody can't go, because we know they'll infiltrate. But we got to change as many raunchy, ratchet, nasty, disgusting, disturbing people as possible. We have to make money an illusion, because it is an illusion. We have to understand that there's agents in this matrix. And if they're not, like they said, if they're not with us, then they're against us. Until they're with us. So use your discernment. Be a leader. Unlock the leader within you, so you don't have to be led by these losers. Alright? That's all I have to say today. I love y'all, truly. And I wish that we all rise together. And we work together. That's how we lead, by working together as one. But understanding that we have to change the roles of men and their destruction, the primitive ways, what might be biological. We have to know how to suppress that want to rage until it's time to rage. Let's be productive with those primitive actions, right? Let's put those actions to use when they're supposed to be to use against our enemy. Let's identify our enemy. Your enemy is not me. My enemy is not you. Unless you decide to be my enemy, I will never decide to be yours. Unless you are attacking me. In that case, you will be meeting your maker. So, anywho, love y'all. Peace. I hope that, this message reaches however many people it's supposed to reach. Because, you know me, I get on here and talk all day, talk to myself, and 50 people can watch. But that's 50 people that needed to watch. 30 people that needed to watch. And then one day, when the world is whatever it becomes, 2,000 years from now, when the next civilization cracks the cloud, and they go back in the cloud, and they see this message, and they decode the message, and they say, it was some crazy dumb motherfuckers in this world, but this one wasn't one. And maybe it will help them lead the next civilization. Hey, just leaving a little something behind. Just like I got these books, just leaving a little something behind. All right. Anyways, that's all.